Would you feel the same if you drank a simple Coke than if you drank a Coke with your name on it? For most people, the answer is no. That's why Coca-Cola launched this campaign. But what is the reason behind such success? Companies have noticed that if people see their names on a product, they are more likely to buy it. That is one of the multiple tools of neuromarketing. Hello everyone, we are Ruth and Marta, and today we are going to talk about neuromarketing. We're going to start by defining what neuromarketing is. Then we will mention some neuromarketing technologies. Afterwards, we will explain whether we have a buy button inside our brains or not. Then we will discuss 4 marketing strategies to have the highest content impact. After, we will give some examples, and finally, we will draw a little conclusion. So, first of all, let's start by introducing what neuromarketing is. It is the science of human decision, which consists of using neurometrics, biometrics, and psychometrics to understand our behavior. In other words, neuromarketing is a new field of marketing which uses medical technologies to study the brain's responses to marketing stimuli, such as products, packaging, or advertising, among others. You may be wondering why companies use these tools. And the reason behind it is that they utilize them in order to design products and services more adjusted to their preferences and also to design more efficient marketing campaigns, which will help them influencing consumers' behaviors. So these are the most common neuromarketing technologies. The functional magnetic resonance imaging is a tool that measures changes in the brain's blood flow in order to visualize underlying processes of consumer behavior. The electroencephalogram analyzes the brain's electrical activity, detecting changes in the electrical currents of the brain waves. The galvanic skin response monitors changes in the electrical conductivity of the skin. And finally, the eye tracking extracts information from the consumer by analyzing their eye movements, where their gaze is concentrated and where the visual stimulus is omitted. So far, we can ask ourselves, is there a buy button inside the brain? Before, neuromarketers asked the wrong questions to consumers. However, after, they discover people don't know what they want. That's why now they examine various modifications that happen in the body while answering the proper questions. According to the TED Talk on the buy button, we can affirm the buy button exists, and in order to reach it, we have to understand our reptilian nature. What we know about the brain is that we don't have a single self. Instead, we have 3. First, we have the neocortex, known as our new brain and is the rational self. Deeper inside, we have our emotional self. And finally, deeper down is our reptilian brain, which is our instinctual self and is the oldest one. This last self has a greater impact on our final decisions. Therefore, if marketers stimulate our reptilian brain, they will reach the buy button. However, the problem is that the reptilian brain is uncontrollable and limited. For instance, illusions, as they are complicated, always trick us and end up misleading us. Luckily, there are 6 ways to incite the reptilian brain. This brain, the reptilian brain, is self-centered, and advertisers use this against us by using the word "you" on advertisements, among other methods. The following one is tangibility. As it barely comprehends words, commercials should show simple notions to be able to comprise them perfectly. A perfect example would be this ad where it can be perceived by potential consumers the message of this detergent brand. Then we have contrast. In this ad, for example, contrasting colors are combined. Then there is beginning and end. This means that it is awake at the beginning and end of interactions, and it forgets nearly everything in between. As George Lucas said, the secret of a good movie is a hot opening, a hot close, and don't screw up in the middle. The next incentive is visual. The optic nerve is faster than our auditory nerve. Hence, visual ads are more effective. For example, this ad is very visible on how strong someone could become. Finally, the last stimulus is emotion. For instance, they put pictures on the packs of cigarettes to emotionally impact.
Okay, so let's move on to the strategies. Marketing strategies based on neuromarketing are much more authentic and aids companies to get closer to consumers. Therefore, the percentage of effectiveness and success is more than remarkable and improves the company's performance. We are going to present 4 strategies to be able to obtain the highest content impact, allowing you to better understand how this new trend works. The first strategy is working with colors, as they provoke emotions. Researchers have proven that color is crucial in consumers' buying decisions. Precisely, 75% of snap judgments of consumers are based on color. Hence, the key point to unlock in this neuromarketing hack is to determine what specific emotion or vibe you want to achieve. Therefore, understanding what emotions and responses each color have on potential customers is one of the most important tasks to take into consideration when designing products. Red impacts great in the mind and whets the appetite. Brands like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, among others know it, and that's why they have designed a logo with red. Green is the quintessential health color. For instance, Heineken has achieved healthy spontaneous recognition rates and homogeneous associations. Secondly, blue reminds us of the sky, the sea, freedom, autonomy, and calm, which transmits security and confidence. It is used by banks, insurers, consultants, among others. Experts advise applying brown in masculine products. While the smell of wood causes feelings of masculinity, the floral instead suggests femininity. Gray generates a feeling of quality and innovation. Car technology, jewelry, and construction companies play with this color. According to experts, purple is associated with mature women to project with luxury and sophistication, skincare, and elegance. Yellow makes us feel happy and creative. Orange instead is the color of fun. That's why it is used a lot by food and toy products, and brands that want to target a young and fun audience. Lastly, pink invites friendship and altruistic love for women of a young age. For this reason, beauty or clothing brands use it in creams. Perfume brands can use this color to produce the sense of a sexy and irresistible product. The second strategy is to incorporate a human component. By adding a human factor in your branding, it establishes a connection with your target audience and inspires them trust. By adding a face or even several faces to your company name makes it more authentic to customers. The third strategy is to leverage the scarcity effect. Scarcity has a psychological influence that makes you want something even more if there isn't enough for everyone. Since there is a cognitive bias that causes people to place a higher value on an object that is scarce and a lower value on one that is abundantly available. The last strategy is to press the pain buttons. One of the most eye-opening discoveries in neuromarketing is the idea that consumers respond more to pain than to pleasure. This means that marketers should focus more on showing how their product or service offers a solution to a problem rather than sharing the types of pleasures they can get. Okay, so let's move to the examples. The first example is packaging. Packaging can become a differentiating element by which users decide on a product. A well-known example is the Gap brand. Gap received a rebellion against the brand change. Fans expressed the discontent on social networks. The company had no choice but to withdraw this new image by returning to the initial one. Can you imagine the number of losses the brand had after investing thousands of dollars in a new rebranding? The Gap rebrand was estimated to have cost them $100 million. That's a lot. The next example is reward and punishment. Using reward and punishment is mainly used to make games more engaging. For example, if you didn't receive rewards when playing these games, would you play as much as you do now? I believe the answer is no. Therefore, rewards are necessary. The last example is memorable headlines. Headlines are one of the first things the viewer sees, so obviously, they need to stand out and be noticed. For instance, after seeing both these ads, I believe you will remember them thanks to their headlines.
To conclude, we have seen the multiple utilities and advantages of neuromarketing. We have also learned that we have something that looks like a buy button in our brains, and in order to access it, we must stimulate our reptilian brain since it is the one that ends up deciding. After, we have seen some strategies that can be followed to make the most out of neuromarketing. Finally, we have also seen some examples that can help increase companies' effectiveness. However, we are conscious that everything has something negative, and that is the reason why we want to emphasize the importance of making good use of this science. That is the end of our presentation, and now it's time to debate.